list of items in the move out disposition letter. So let's say with all these items, but at the end when the dollar comes in and actually shipped around from you, let's say one was over your estimate, but the other one item was less. So can you just take the money out of which less, or do you have to strictly go by?
I don't think you have to strictly go by that. You want to be as close as you can, you want to be as prompt as you can. But if changing it around results in a refund that you weren't expecting, I get it back to them as soon as possible. But don't wait, the 14 days is set in stone. That's 14 days. Yes, ma'am?
Is a text message considered in writing?
No. Text messages, if you reduce them to paper, can be evidence in a court of law. However, the statute in this case says it has to be mailed, regular first-class mail, to the last known address or any known address.
Well,
Right?
I'm meaning, I guess, more so from a tenant. I had a tenant text me a maintenance issue. And I said, I'm sorry, you need to mail or email it.
Well, I think they probably get away with that. It's now, especially after the Landis case I referenced before, actual knowledge, okay? In those situations, you might be well, though, to follow up, and we'll talk about this a little further in with a follow-up letter per your text on whatever. I understand this is the case, and we'll get on it or whatever. Okay? All right. Do you want if you've got a lease, do you want it to terminate automatically, or do you want it to go to a month-to-month? Your lease has the capacity of being your notice to terminate, if you're clear about that. That this shall not renew as a month-to-month, it shall not renew at all, and your lease is terminated on X date and time. You don't necessarily have to then give a notice to terminate in those situations. So consider that. Clause that says basic accounting principles apply. That means you give me money, I'm going to apply it to the oldest charges first. That might be an NSF fee, a late fee, utility fee, or whatever from 3 months ago. And you might have intended it to be rent, but I'm going to apply it to the oldest invoices first. It's basic accounting principles, right? That way, once you apply it, if they're still short in the rent, you turn around and do a 3-day notice to pay rent or vacate rather than a 10-day. Yes, ma'am?
What if they write it is specifically for rent on there?
Little risky if they say for rents only. Now, technically, if you want to get down into the nuts and bolts of this, they have to actually write it on the back side with some additional language, okay? But you get into a court, and if they've written for rents only or November's rents only or something specific, you're probably better off making the decision to return that and say, I won't accept it if that's the posture you want to take. Or you're going to end up having to accept it and then probably do a 10-day for those older amounts. Those are your two choices. So just putting it in the memo line anymore is not necessarily legally sufficient, but that's not an argument I'd want to be splitting hairs over in court, because it could be a costly argument to try to win.